Hey guys, this is Stephen Howard, and my dog Yucca's sleeping. She's on her meds. I think we'll be off the meds by the next weekend. I've been dealing with COVID-19, been dealing with riots. Here in Vegas, it's pretty quiet. I've actually had a lot of great conversations with, all kinds of people. And I've also had conversations with police officers, and they were really good. I came up and I thanked them for their service, and that, we aren't all bad people, and, no matter what color you are or ethnicity you are, that, there's bad people in every race and there's good people in every race. And we had a great conversation. And I I really, my heart goes out to them because I feel like they're responsible for our community. As they're patrolling tonight, they're trying to make sure everything's safe, and they're getting calls through their, system. You know what cops do. But they aren't all bad. They aren't all out to hassle you. If you're not breaking the law or doing something outlandish or stupid, you're probably, not going to have a hard time. Um, Different parts of town might be different. I was out in Blue Diamond, you know. I don't know how it is in North Las Vegas. I don't know how it is downtown or, on the east side of town. And it concerns me. But at the same time, we have to move on with our lives. And this is like, we're in the river, and you got to put your feet downstream and tighten up your life jacket and just float and let go. You know, what we've had in the past isn't gonna necessarily be the same, but it is. It's really funny. It is. Not much has changed around here. I can't say that for other towns in America. What I saw in Minneapolis, and what I saw in New York, and um, Virginia and Atlanta, Texas, Oklahoma. My heart goes out to people. And I really hope that, everybody's trying to remain home and safe, and then going to work or doing whatever they strictly have to do. And those of us who are out of work, those of us who are working need to understand those of us who are out of work. It hasn't been easy to reattain. So I'm trying every day, trying to find a job here in Las Vegas, and then I have some business plans and ideas. And it's just been difficult because, I'm 48 years old. I'm more of a CEO than a, but I'll do any job. I was a painter and house builder up in Montana. So I guess without getting on a tangent, what I'm trying to say is we're a United States. We're united. United we stand. I do understand the plight of somebody leaning on somebody's neck until they die, and I understand police brutality. I wish this country had learned from Rodney King, but it seems like every generation it gets worse. And it's time we do something about it, without taking it out on police, without taking it out on our businesses, without taking it out on our general public. So I've really been concerned for our country. And I don't see, the sorry, what I do see is that there's a lot of copycat things going on. And what I see is a lot of weakness, and a lot of, I don't know what this generation has been through. I know I have a tentative relationship with my daughter at best, And I know that, some of the things that are being posted throughout the internet, it's just really tough, It's tough on families. A friend of mine, is a white mom, and she has a half black son. And, today he calls her up and says, "Fuck you, mom, you're a racist," you know. And she was just crushed, And he's 22 years old. He doesn't really understand what he's saying. That's his mother. So, we really need to respect our elders. We need to respect our parents. I come from a generation that did not, Generation X. We were all rebels. We all went out and went to rock concerts and listened to heavy music and, all of that stuff. So I completely understand. But it doesn't help when it affects the whole country. That the whole country's going to be under effect if this keeps going this way. And if the rioting stops, they're talking about a second wave of coronavirus. Um, I'm just tired of dealing with all of this like you are. Um, I'm really, I'm awakened. I know what I've got to do, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it every day, and I see a lot of people that are not. I see a lot of people that are still, locked into the matrix, and it's sad to me, that we're all running after something that doesn't necessarily exist anymore. And, dog eat dog, you know. I don't like this whole mentality of, you know, this person's better than that person or anything like that. As enlightened beings, we are all precious beings. We are all God's divine children. And, if you don't believe in that, go ahead and check off now. But I believe that we're all connected. And it's like these lights out here. When you look out at the light, I don't know if you can see that good, but they're all kind of blinking in unison. It's a power grid. You can actually, from out here, you can see it. And I kind of think like that, like we're all connected and our energy is connected. So when there's riots and all this stuff going on, those of us who are empaths tend to go into PTSD kind of shock. I've watched a lot of readers that are, seem to be under duress or under stress. And I've also seen a lot of people in general in the public that are under a lot of stress. And here I am dealing with what I got to deal with, and I seem to be not so much stress. I've aligned, I've awakened, I'm of the light. I'm one of those lights out there, and I'm just glowing and flickering, and keeping the light on for you. So I hope that you guys understand what my channel is designed to do. I go back over it all the time in my videos. It's probably an insecurity of mine. I probably don't need to explain it again, but I had a motorcycle wreck. It was 82 miles an hour. It was a heavy wreck. And it's on video. It's on SK8BRD Steve on YouTube. If you want to look it up. There's also some kayak surf videos from the 90s and a bunch of other stuff that proves what I'm saying is real. So I crashed 82 miles an hour, and when I kind of woke up the next morning and I was all scuffed up and bandaged from the hospital and had been scrubbed out in the middle of the night and was missing the palm of my hand. If you see the hole in my hand, that was all gone. And I was really traumatized. I didn't realize what it had done to me. But when I woke up, I saw consecutive numbers. And I think it was like 11:11 in the morning. And I thought that was really weird. And then I started to hear a voice, and it was like, get up and go to work. And that was my ex-wife. And she was starting to fight with me. And I think she was concerned. We had a new baby, and I was responsible. We did make a lot of money, but I think she was concerned. So I got up and I, believe it or not, went to work. And I worked out on the strip, and um, people were like, I just explained to them what happened and that I'm working, and I did pretty good that week. And then I took a rest. I was like, screw this, I need to heal. And it was hard. But during that week, I was talking to insurance, and I kept hearing this voice. And it was like, uh, do whatever you want, this is a mess. And so I just said that. And the insurance ended up paying for the bike and some medical bills of mine. And I went through the next week, and consecutively worse things happened as I healed. When I healed, it was about 2 months after the motorcycle crash. Was a robbery at the Target on Blue Diamond in Arville. And it was a shoplifter, but my wife ran out of the Target and said, there's a robber, there's a robbery. So I took it as robbery, like, bank robbery type guys. And I ended up in a lot of trouble. And I told the officer this story today, and he goes, the fact that you've been through all that, and you went through court, and you were looking at, crazy charges and, everything, and the fact that you would come up and still thank me means so much. It means so much. I said, you know what, officer, if you were having trouble or anything was happening, I, I would do my best to back you up. I would risk my life for, you like you would for me. And he goes, well, I really appreciate that. So it's the truth. So, when you're, I know everybody has their angle on what's going on. But those of us who don't have an angle, that are just the innocent, the empathic people that are still trying to do right and still trying to make things right. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm not saying I'm not at fault for a lot of things over the course of the past 3 years. But I don't try to burn anybody. I don't try to, take or just, be rude or give bad energy. I always try and come from love. I always try and come from the heart. And, be there through thick and thin, because that's what I would want them to be for me. So, you have your loved ones around, give them a big hug tonight, go tuck the kids in bed and tell them how much you love them. I really miss my daughter, Marley. I really don't miss some of the people that are around her. And I wish things were different, but they're not. So that's either a blessing or a lesson. Um, I'm a great dad, and I was a great husband. You know, sometimes shit happens to you, you don't happen to it. Sometimes the world, wrecks your car or ruins your day, or, there's a lot of things that can happen. Somebody passes on. That's right, it's really hard to deal with, but I have a friend that, was gunned down about 3 years ago now. His name was Eric D. Nelson. He was in North Las Vegas on Newport Avenue. And I read about the case because they found his killer. They found matching shell casings from where Eric's body was found, and one of his friends, and phone records. And I just can't believe that someone would kill someone else like that. Like a double cross, like your buddies, or you're working together or something, and someone just decides one day you're expendable or something, or too much, or whatever the case was. It's just like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that a human being can kill another human being. It's really, really atrocious. I believe in carrying guns. I believe in Second Amendment, and protecting your home and your family, and that's all well and fine. But capital murder of a dear friend of mine, that's a different story. You know. So I want to dedicate the channel to Eric D. Nelson and to my boss and other good friend from Montana, Kelly Brolin. And they will definitely be characters in my movie. They will definitely be, um, for the rest of my life, my guides. And if you don't believe that spirits really exist and that we are just the container, that we are just 3D, we're just a meat suit. But what's inside? What's inside? What is that? What is that, when you awaken in the morning? What is it when you are asleep? What is it when you're in deep meditation in the 5D? What is it to manifest your dreams? What is it to actually take the universal guidance, and instead of going through all these channels to try and make something happen, you just make it happen? It just magically appears out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my God, that's all my dreams. That's it in a fucking nutshell. What are you gonna do? It's like Eminem. If you had one shot, what are you gonna do? Oh, I'm definitely down to have my shot. It's in the record books. It's in destiny. It's in the stars. I believe there's three types of people in the world. There's super wealthy, rich, there's famous, but then there's another bracket there, and it's people you don't really know about. I could list a few of them. I'll give you some good ones. Jay Adams, Christian Hosoi, John Yablonsky, Yabo, rock climber, Ron Kauk, Peter Croft, Dave Schultz, Dean Potter, Laird Hamilton, Dave Kalama, Buzzy Kerbox, hi Buzzy, Eddie Would Go, I just know that there's a destiny, there's a path, and it's really important that you stay on it, that I stay on it. It doesn't affect us as much as it does everyone around us. So I plan on staying on that path, being the light in a very dark world. You know, I feel like sometimes, you know, it's a dark world. Anyway, good night, everybody. I hope that was long enough. I'll talk to you soon. Another video out tomorrow. Channeled message it was. Be good to yourself. Be good to those around you. And one love.